Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's been a pretty decent while, but you know, it's 2020 and your boy is back here on the J.Raw Wrestling Weekly Podcast. The brand new episode. This is episode 13 for January 14th, 2020. I know it's been a little while, but you know, finally back in the swing of things. It's gonna be some new reviews that I do for this new relaunch podcast, working on the theme music and stuff like that. So also want to make sure to give shout outs, and don't forget about the Patreon we got, and also we're on SoundCloud. Of course, you can get this on Castbox and Spreaker, and also YouTube. Want to make sure to shout out the CEO and my partner in crime, DJ Hardcore. DJ Hardcore Productions doing his thing. Got a show probably coming up around April, May, so stay tuned. I have more info about that. Alright. Also want to make sure to shout out my man SRS and Jimmy Van Zan with Fightful.com. Also want to shout out Russell Cave, True Hills, Marked Out Club, and all the wrestling Facebook groups that your boy involved with. So, without further ado, go ahead and get into it. Tonight's episode, I'm going to start out with reviewing the NXT UK Takeover Blackpool. That was Sunday. Then I'm going to go into a new promotion that's not that new, but new to the J.Raw Wrestling Podcast. Excuse me for the burp. But basically going to be doing Impact. I'm also going to be doing NWA Power, in addition to doing Ring of Honor, New Japan, and NXT, and you know, all the other promotions that your boy follow. But for tonight's episode, which is episode 13, basically just going to review NXT UK Takeover Blackpool. Also going to review Impact's Hard to Kill, which was both Sunday. Going to review Dynamite, AEW Dynamite from last week. Also going to do a review of Wrestle Kingdom, even though it was no more than 2 weeks ago, but it still was an amazing show. Tonight I'm not going to do a top 10 with this episode, but the episode I dropped this weekend, definitely going to do a top 10. I'll probably do my top 10 wrestlers of 2019. Alright, so now I got all that out the way. Might as well go ahead and begin. We're going to, like I said, I'm going to start out this episode with NXT UK Takeover Blackpool 2. That was this Sunday. And overall, it was a great show. And I enjoyed watching. You know, I had a chance to really get into it on Sunday night, which was an amazing takeover, as they do. NXT UK always been a pretty good standard as far as doing takeovers. Alright, so first match was Eddie Dennis defeated Trent Seven. Okay, now the match ends when Eddie sends Trent shoulder first into the exposed turnbuckle before he goes to hit a razor's edge into the turnbuckle, and instead hits a razor's edge over the top rope into the barricade. Eddie then rolls Trent into the ring for a near fall before he finishes Trent off and hits the next stop driver for the pin and the win. So there you have it. Eddie Dennis goes over on Trent Seven via his finisher, the next stop driver. Alright. So after that, we had the next matchup, which was Tyler Bate defeated the Ace Jordan Devlin. Now the match ends when Jordan kicks and stomps Tyler before hitting him with a right hand, and Tyler counters with a Tiger Driver before Tyler headbutts Jordan and hits a satellite DDT into the Tyler Driver 97 for a near fall. Then Tyler quickly follows up with a twisting corkscrew senton for the pin and win. And once again, you have Tyler Bate defeating Jordan Devlin via pinfall with a twisting corkscrew senton. Alright, so the next match after that was a ladder match for the NXT UK Tag Team Championships. You had Gallus, who were the champs, defeated Grizzled Young Veterans, Imperium, and Flash Morgan Webster with Mark Andrews. Now the match ends when the ladder gets set up at ringside before Gallus sets up a pair of tables at ringside before SWS puts Mark through one of the tables when it's collapsed and set Wolfgang onto the opposing one. SWS then hits the double swanton bomb off the ladder on the Wolfgang through the table before they bring in a ladder into the ring. Now Grizzled Young Veterans come in and use another ladder to take out SWS before Andrews takes out Grizzled Young Veterans with a kendo stick until it splinters into pieces. Now Fabian takes out Mark with a brainbuster before he gets his hand on the titles and is sent down before Wolfgang spears Eichner through the ladder. Gallus then climbs to the top and reclaims their titles for the win. So once again, there you have Gallus retaining their NXT UK Tag Team Championships by defeating Imperium, Southwest Subculture, which is Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews, and Grizzled Young Veterans. Alright, so after that, we had the NXT Women's Championship, which was a triple threat match between Katie Lee Ray, Toni Storm, and Piper Niven. And Katie Lee Ray keeps her title and defeats Toni Storm and Piper Niven. Now the match ends when Toni hits Ray with the Storm Zero for a near fall that Piper breaks up before Toni hits Storm Zero with Ray on the back of Piper. Toni then hits a variation of Pedigree for a near fall before hitting a diving frog splash, and Ray super kicks her out of the ring before covering Niven for the pin to win. So once again, you have Kaylee Ray going over on Piper Niven and Toni Storm via pinfall to retain her NXT UK Women's Championship. Now, for the main event, my guy Walter versus Joe Coffey. And we have Walter going over on Joe Coffey. Now the match ends when Joe hits a moonsault for a 2 before Walter rocks him with a boot in the exchange before Walter hits a powerbomb for 2. Walter goes for another sleeper hold before Joe spears him, and Walter misses a running shotgun drop kick and takes out the referee. Joe hits a powerbomb, but there's no referee to make the count before Alexander Wolf comes out and drops Joe with a running boot. Ilya Dragunova comes out and they brawl before Ilya hits a torpedo Moscow into Wolf, into Joe, who is falling out of the ring holding his knee. Walter clothesline Ilya and goes out after Joe before dropping him with another boot and sending him into the stairs. Now Walter powerbombs Joe onto the apron before hitting a lariat for a near fall. Joe kicks out before the new referee can count 3. Ilya and Wolf brawl at ringside before Joe catches Walter on the top turnbuckle and Walter chops him down. Joe gets back on his feet and hits a one-legged over-the-head belly-to-back suplex off of the top rope. They exchange until Joe rocks Walter with a right hand, and then Walter kicks and knees out from under him before hitting a diving splash for the near fall. Now Joe hits a 2 all best of the bells for a near fall before he goes for a third, and Walter locks in a sleeper hold. Walter kicks Joe on the spine and locks in a sleeper before Joe gets to the top ropes and breaks, and Walter hits him with the overhead suplex into a powerbomb. Walter then kicks Joe before hitting another powerbomb before submitting Joe with a variation of a sleeper for the win. So there you have it. Walter retaining his NXT UK Championship by defeating Joe Coffey via submission. Now this was the mark-out moment of TakeOver. After the match, the rest of Imperium comes out to the ring and they celebrate with Walter before they're attacked by Undisputed Era. We then end the show with UE taking out Walter and standing tall over the ring general as we go off the air. And that pretty much was NXT UK Takeover Blackpool 2. Like I said, out of 5 stars, I give it a 4.7, about 4.8. It's a pretty decent show. Alright. So, next up, we got Impact's Hard to Kill pay-per-view, which was also this Sunday. Alright, now, the first match was Ken Shamrock defeats Madman Fulton. Now, the match ends when Fulton capitalized on the referee ejecting the Christ brothers before hitting a choke slam, and Ken locks in a double-wristed lock before Fulton falls back into a corner with a shoulder injury. Ken drops Fulton with a knee before Fulton slams him down with the one arm, and Ken locks in a submission until Fulton verbally submits him for the win. And there you have it. Ken Shamrock defeats Madman Fulton via referee stoppage due to a verbal tap out. Alright, so next up you have the Impact X Division Championship. You have Ace Austin defeating Trey from the Rascals. Now the match ends when Ace locks in a single leg Boston Crab before giving Trey a paper cut and beating on him with clubbing blows. Trey comes back with a clothesline in the Ingazuri into a reverse suplex and a dragon sleeper before hitting a rebound flatliner off the top rope for 2. Ace turns Trey inside out with a diving roundhouse kick for 2 before Trey hits a cheeky Nanos into a 619. Ace then crotches Trey on the top turnbuckle and hits a Frankensteiner before hitting the fold for the pin to win. And there you have it. Ace Austin retaining his X Division Championship by beating Trey via pinfall with the fold. Alright, so next up we have the Impact's Knockout Championship, which was a triple threat also. The irony. You had Tyra Valkyrie with Johnny Bravo keeping her championship, defeating Jordan Grace and ODB. Now the match ends when Jordan lifts Taya before hitting ODB hits a bulldog to Taya off the second rope. Jordan takes out ODB and then hits Tanya with a flatliner for 2 before Jordan gets a 2 count off a sunset flip. Now ODB sends Tanya into the post before Jordan rips ODB down off the top and hits a diving elbow drop for a near fall that Taya breaks up. Jordan hits a splash onto both Taya and ODB for a near fall. Jordan hits the Grace Driver and John distracts the referee before. John then grabs Jordan's legs and Taya covers ODB for the pin to win. And like I said, there you have it. Taya Valkyrie going over on Jordan Grace and ODB to keep her Impact's Knockout Championship. Alright, now I'm going to take a quick little break and run to the restroom and also get a swig of water, and I'll be right back with the rest of the Impact Hard to Kill, also AE Dynamite, and the review of Wrestle Kingdom with New Japan. Alright, we back at it. It's the J.Raw Weekly Wrestling Podcast, episode 13 for January the 14th, 2020. Once again, picking up the review for Impact Wrestling's Hard to Kill, which was Sunday. Now, we left off, the last match was the triple threat for the Impact Knockout Championship, which Taya Valkyrie was able to go over on Jordan Grace and ODB. Now, the next match after that was a challenge match, sort of a grudge match between Rob Van Dam. And actually, it wasn't a match. He did defeat Brian Cage, but via the referee stoppage. Basically, RVD beats on Brian Cage at ringside before rolling him back into the ring and playing to the crowd before Brian comes back with the clothesline and a super kick. Brian gets distracted by Katie at ringside before RVD hits him from behind and stomps and chokes him in the corner. Katie grabs a chair and put it against Brian's face before RVD goes up to the top and hits a Van Daminator for 2 as we see Brian's mouth is busted open. Now Daga gets in the ring and checks on Brian before several officials help him out of the ring, and RVD attacks Daga from behind. So once again we have a no contest due to injury, but we had a match between Rob Van Dam, who defeated Daga. Now RVD stomps Daga in the corner and goes for a rolling senton before Daga drop kicks him in midair. Daga hits a series of drop kicks that send RVD out of the ring before hitting a diving crossbody to the outside. Back in the ring, they exchange pin attempts before Katie grabs Daga by the foot and RVD hits the Rolling Thunder into the 5-star Frog Splash for a pin and the win. And there you have it. Once again, you have RVD defeating Daga via the pinfall with the 5-star Frog Splash. Now, after the match, a reporter tries to get an interview with Sami Callihan, but Jake Crist stops her at the door before we get a video package for Michael Elgin before his match against Eddie Edwards for the Call Your Shot trophy. So we have a match for the Call Your Shot trophy, Eddie Edwards defeating Michael Elgin. Now the match ends when Elgin turns Eddie inside out and hits a splash mountain bomb for a near fall before Eddie goes for a Boston Crab. But Elgin counters and hit the Boston Knee Party into a STF. Eddie crawls to the top rope before breaking. Elgin argues with an official and turns him inside out with a lariat. Elgin then hits a buckle bomb before Eddie counters the Elgin bomb into a pin for the win. There you have it. Once again, Eddie Edwards going over and keeping his Call Your Shot trophy, defeating Michael Elgin via pinfall. Alright, so next after that we have a no DQ match between Moose and Rhino, and Moose goes over on Rhino. They brawl before Moose spears Rhino, who rolls out of the ring before Moose hits Rhino with a chair, and Rhino counters a suplex onto the ramp. Rhino hits a backdrop onto the ramp when Moose runs at him before Rhino grabs the chair and hits Moose across the back and in the ribs with it. Moose sends Rhino into the post and gets the table out from under the ring before rolling Rhino onto the apron. Rhino counters a pile driver off the apron through the table before powerbombing Moose through the table and tossing him back into the ring for 2. Now Rhino sets up a pile of chairs into the ring and hits a superplex onto them for a near fall before bringing a table into the ring and setting it up in the corner. Moose comes back with a running drop kick in the corner. Then Rhino turns him inside out with a lariat for 2 before Moose grabs the referee, and Rhino spears both the referee and Moose through the table for a near fall. Moose then low blows Rhino and spears him for the pin to win. And once again, there you have it. Moose defeats Rhino via the pinfall with the spear. Alright, so next up we have the Impact World Tag Team Championships. The North defeating Willie Mack. Rich Swann was injured on Friday and wasn't cleared to wrestle. Alright, so the match starts out with the North mocking Willie before attacking him from behind, and Willie comes back with a double clothesline. Willie hits a swinging body slam onto a jumping knee drop to Josh before sending him out of the ring and goes for a dive. But Ethan distracts him. Josh attacks Willie from behind and he and Ethan double team on Willie, and Josh hits a float over suplex for 2 as Rich looks on from backstage. Josh stomps the face of Willie, and Willie comes back with a running splashes in the opposite corner before hitting a running cannonball to Ethan in the corner. Willie hits Josh with a Samoan drop before a missing and standing moonsault, and Willie sends the North into each other, and Ethan is out of the ring before getting a 2 count that Ethan breaks up. Willie sends Ethan back out of the ring and hits Josh with running forearms in the corner before hitting an exploder suplex for 2. Ethan grabs the ankle of Willie when he's on the top turnbuckle before Josh hits a running DVD, and the North hit a double Styles Clash for a near fall. Willie fights off a double superplex before hitting Josh with the Canadian Destroyer off the top, with Josh on Ethan's shoulders. Willie sends Ethan out of the ring and hits a tope before hitting Josh with a 6-star frog splash for the near fall that Ethan, of course, breaks up. The referee refuses to disqualify the North before Willie hits Ethan with a stunner, and the North hit him with a barrage of strikes. The North then hit the Burning Hammer Spine Buster for the pin to win. And there you have it, the North retaining their Impact World Tag Team Championships by defeating Willie Mack for the pinfall. Alright, so now we have the main event, which was an intergender match for the Impact World Championship. We had Tessa Blanchard, the new champ, defeating Sami Callihan, of course, to win the Impact World Championship. Now, Sami starts off the match by booting Tessa and hitting her with a pile driver as soon as the match starts for a very early near fall before setting her on the top turnbuckle. Tessa fights Sami off and hits the Magnum for a near fall of her own before Tessa lays into Sami with forearms and hits a Hurricane Rana that sends Sami out of the ring. Tessa drop kicks Sami off of the apron and hits several suicide dives before Sami catches her. Then she hits a Hurricane Rana onto the floor. Tessa hits a flipping senton on the Sami onto the floor before hitting Sami at ringside until he hits her with the beer and sends her legs into the railing. Back in the ring, Sami applies a variation of an Indian deathlock before chopping her across the back. Sami tells Tessa to hit him before he drops her and plays to the crowd before driving her knees into the mat for 2. Sami steps and stands on Tessa before targeting her legs and knees before Tessa kicks him out of the ring and rolls out of the way of an elbow drop. Sami nearly knocks Tessa out of the ring. Sami nearly knocks Tessa out with a right hand before tossing her out of the ring, and Tessa comes back with the super kick onto the apron. Tessa goes for a cannonball off the apron, but Sami catches her with a powerbomb through the timekeeper's table at ringside before getting back into the ring and at the count of 9. Sami pulls up the pad at ringside before they exchange on the apron until they rake each other's eyes and Tessa hits a Magnum onto the apron. They both fall onto the floor before getting back into the ring at 9, and Tessa rocks Sami with a forearm. Sami chops Tessa and kicks her knees out before Tessa hits a Samoan drop and a Magnum in the corner for 2. Sami dodges Tessa coming off the top rope and hits the get out of here for a 2 before they exchange forearms until Sami hits the Snapdragon suplex. Tessa gets right back up and hits Sami with a cutter for a near fall before getting to their feet in a count of 7, and Sami grabs his belt. The referee takes the belt away and Sami goes to hit Tessa with brass knuckles before she low blows him and hits a Magnum off the top for 2. Sami gets to his feet and get free of a submission when he bites Tessa before hitting a pile driver for a near fall. before Tessa gets a near fall off of a jackknife cover. Tessa then hits 2 Canadian destroyers into the buzzsaw DDT for the pin and the win. And once again, there you have it. Tessa Blanchard defeats Sami Callihan with the buzzsaw DDT to become the new Impact's world champion and the first female champion in history of the promotion. Alright, so next up we got AE Dynamite, which was last January the 8th, 2020. Just going to take a quick swig. Hold on. Alright guys, we almost at the home stretch. We just going to do Dynamite, then we just going to review Wrestle Kingdom, and that's it. Just something light for the new year, letting y'all know your boy is back. Alright, without further ado, let me go ahead and get into this AEW Dynamite. Alright, so Dynamite starts off with a tag team match with Kenny Omega and Hangman Page versus Private Party. The match begins with Page and Quinn working over each other's arms. Page then drops Quinn with the shoulder tackle. Page keeps control by attacking Quinn with a variety of strikes. Quinn escapes Page's grasp to land on a drop salt. Cassidy tags in and he nails Page with the top rope double stomp before attacking Omega. Cassidy traps Page in the ropes while landing more strikes. Quinn tags in and he double teams Page with Cassidy for a near fall. Cassidy tags in and Page lays them both out. Omega tags in and he double teams Cassidy alongside Page. Then Page leaves the ring as Omega nails Cassidy with a backbreaker for a near fall. Page tags back in as he and Cassidy fight back against both opponents. Page ends that momentum by nailing Cassidy with a knee lift. Omega tags in and Cassidy sends Page out of the ring. Cassidy then nails Omega with a slingshot flatliner. Quinn and Page are tagged in by their respective partners. Then Quinn quickly starts taking out both opponents with a series of suicide dives. Quinn then gets Page back in the ring before landing a 450 splash for a near fall. Cassidy tags back in and he double teams Page alongside Quinn for a near fall. Now Page propels a charge of Cassidy to the ring apron. Then Cassidy goes for a springboard move and Page's boo him in the face. Page catches a leaping Quinn to land a fall away slam afterwards. Now Omega tags in and he double teams Private Party with Page. Page nails Quinn with a high-end German suplex before nailing Cassidy with the powerbomb. Omega then hits Cassidy with a knee strike for a near fall. Quinn returns. Omega nails him with a Snapdragon suplex. Then Cassidy recovers. He drop kicks Omega in the knee. Then Private Party then hit Omega with the silly string for a near fall. Quinn tags in and he misses a shooting star press attempt. Page tags in and he nearly nails Omega with a buckshot lariat. Then Quinn shoves Page into Omega before attacking both with strikes. Omega and Page recover to work over Quinn for a near fall. Omega tags back in and Cassidy breaks up the double team move from Page and Omega. Private Party then hit Omega with the gin and juice for a near fall. Then Page returns and he knocks out Cassidy out of the ring. Quinn attacks Page and Omega causes Quinn to hit Page with the overhead kick. Omega recovers and he nails Quinn with the V-trigger. And Page and Omega then hit Quinn for a buckshot lariat V-trigger combination. Then Omega hits Quinn with a one-wing angel for the 3 count. And there you have it. Kenny Omega and Hangman Page going over on Private Party. Now after the match, Pac is shown attacking Michael Nakazawa backstage before demanding that Kenny Omega give him a rubber match. Omega heads backstage to see what's going on. Alright, next we have Brandy Rose joins the commentary team for the next match. And the next match was the AEW Women's Championship, Rio versus Chris Statlander. Now the match begins when Rio is attacking Statlander with a few strikes. Statlander recovers and then she drops Rio with the shoulder tackle before eating a drop kick. Rio gets Statlander in a headlock and Statlander escapes before missing a handstand leg drop. Rio then drops Statlander with a middle rope Hurricane Rana. Statlander blocks a 619 attempt before getting dropped with an arm drag. Statlander recovers and she nails a charging Rio with the tilt-a-whirl backbreaker for a near fall. Statlander carries Rio around the ring before landing a slam for a near fall. Now Statlander keeps Rio down while applying a chinlock. Statlander lets Rio go free and Rio trips her before landing a double stomp. Rio then hits the corner Statlander with a running knee strike. Statlander recovers and she nails Rio from behind. Statlander gets Rio on her shoulders before face planting her into the mat below. Statlander follows up by hitting Rio with the scissor kick for a near fall. Statlander goes to the top rope but she misses a moonsault attempt. Then Rio hits Statlander with the Northern Light suplex for a near fall, and Rio goes to the top rope and Statlander follows her up there. Statlander then hits Rio with a stalling delayed superplex. Then of course Awesome Kong and Melanie Cruz make their way to the ring. Rio gets up and she exchanges strikes with Statlander. Statlander eventually drops Rio with the boot to the face. Rio fights back and then Cruz knocks her to the arena floor while the ref was distracted. Cruz sent Rio into the ring post before eating a suicide dive from Statlander. Statlander follows that up by taking out Kong with the suicide dive. Rose comes out to the ring and a person comes out from under the ring and helps Kong attack Statlander. Statlander is thrown back into the ring and she attacks the mystery man with the dive. Rio goes back to the top rope and she misses a double stomp. Rio still managed to roll up Statlander for a near fall. Rio then hits Statlander with the crucifix bomb for another near fall. Rio misses a charge and Statlander nails her with a lariat followed by a Michinoku driver for a near fall. Kong trips up Statlander and Rio pins her for the 3 count. There you have it, still the AEW World Champion Rio defeating Chris Statlander. Now, after the match, Awesome Kong hits the ring and attacks Chris Statlander until Rio makes the save. Melanie Cruz hits the ring to attack Rio. Hiromu Shida comes out to help while Dr. Britt Baker watches from the crowd. Big Swole and Sonny Kiss also make their way out to the ring to help. Alright, so after that we had a video package air on Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford. Alright, so next match is Christopher Daniels versus Sammy Guevara. The match begins when Guevara works over the arm of Daniels. Daniels gets free and gets Guevara in the headlock. Daniel releases the hold to nail Guevara with the shoulder tackle, but Daniel gets Guevara down again while wrenching away on his arm. Guevara gets Daniels in the corner before landing a few strikes. Daniel recovers to nail Guevara with a hip toss and a slam. Daniels traps Guevara in the corner while landing some strikes. Guevara uses a referee's distraction to nail Daniels with the right. Guevara follows up by landing a top rope double stomp for a near fall. Guevara lands another double stomp for another near fall. Guevara then hits Daniels with the Samoan drop for a near fall. Guevara keeps the pressure on Daniels by choking him on the middle rope. Guevara keeps Daniels down while applying a chin lock. Then Daniel fights back and Guevara nails him with a hook kick. Guevara goes to the top rope and Daniels avoids a 450 splash. Daniel then hits Guevara with an exploder suplex. Guevara and Daniels exchange some strikes in the middle of the ring. Then Daniels ends the exchange by dropping Guevara a few times. Daniels then hits Guevara with a Blue Thunder driver for a near fall. Guerrero avoids the Angel Wings to land a running knee strike, followed by a running Shooting Star Express for a near fall. Guevara and Daniels exchange roll-ups until both go down with a double clothesline. Guevara gets Daniels to the top rope and follows him there. Daniels gets Guevara off the top ropes and lands in Ingizuri. Then Pentagon Jr. comes out and he talks trash to Daniels while on the microphone. Guevara lays out Daniels with a series of kicks to the head for a 3 count. And there you have it, Sammy Guevara going over on Christopher Daniels. Now after the match, the Dark Order males make their way to the ring. And player Uno talks about, Evil Uno talks about how Christopher Daniels on the microphone. The Dark Order get into the ring and Uno says the fans don't believe in Daniels anymore. Uno's offers Daniels a mask. Daniel throws the mask away before getting attacked by the Dark Order. Then the Young Bucks and the rest of SCU come out to make the save. Alright, so next match we have is the Lucha Brothers, Pentagon Jr. and Rey Fenix going up against the Brotherhood of Cody and Dusty Rhodes with the coach Art Anderson. Now the match begins with Cody nailing Pentagon Jr. with a few strikes. Cody looks for Crossroads and Pentagon Jr. escapes to tag Phoenix in. Rhodes tags in and he goes for a bunch of reversals with Phoenix. Cody and Pentagon Jr. are tagged into the match. Phoenix nails Cody from behind with a super kick. Then Pentagon Jr. follows that up by stomping away on a down Cody. Pentagon Jr. starts attacking him and standing Cody with some leg kicks. Cody fights back and he nails Pentagon Jr. with a super kick. Rhodes tags in and he nails Pentagon Jr. with a clothesline. Pentagon Jr. recovers and he knocks Rhodes to the arena floor, so Phoenix can nail him with a suicide dive. Pentagon Jr. then hits Rhodes with a double stomp as he's thrown back into the ring. Pentagon Jr. traps Rhodes into the ropes while landing some strikes. Now Phoenix tags in and he attacks Rhodes with some leg kicks. Then Pentagon Jr. tags in and he attacks Rhodes with some leg kicks. Phoenix tags in and Rhodes falls to the arena floor. Phoenix attacks Rhodes with more strikes before getting him back into the ring. Pentagon Jr. tags in and he attacks Rhodes with more leg kicks. Pentagon Jr. traps the leg of Cody Rhodes. Pentagon Jr. traps the legs of Rhodes in the ropes while nailing him with a thrust kick. Rhodes fights back and Pentagon Jr. drops him into the leg kick. Phoenix tags in and Rhodes nails him with multiple shots to the head. Rhodes then propels a charging Phoenix out of the ring. The Lucha Brothers grab a chair and Anderson takes it away from them. Rhodes then nails a distracted Phoenix with a spine buster. Pentagon Jr. and Cody are tagged into the match. Cody quickly starts cleaning house again for the opposing team. Cody corners Phoenix while landing a plethora of strikes. Cody looks for Crossroads and Phoenix fights his way free before landing a head kick. Phoenix then hits Cody with a rolling cutter. Pentagon Jr. tags back in and Cody backs him into the corner before tagging Rhodes in. Phoenix nails Rhodes with a missile drop kick before nailing Cody with a tightrope kick. Pentagon Jr. then lays out Cody with a package pile driver. Cody fights back against both opponents before nailing Phoenix with a destroyer. Cody returns and he nails Pentagon Jr. with a Cody cutter. Rhodes then hits Phoenix with the final reckoning for a 3 count. There you have it. Cody and Dusty Rhodes going with R. Anderson going over the Lucha Brothers. Alright, now after the match, Tony Schiavone interviews Cody and R. Anderson interrupts to say that MJF doesn't have the stroke to lay down stipulations for Cody. Anderson said they will be talking this week about the potential match with MJF and they'll get back to Schiavone about it. Alright, so Alex Marvez interviews Lanny Poffo, who talks about being with the legends of Memphis Wrestling and meeting the AEW fans. Now MJF makes his way to the ring with Wardlow by his side. Then MJF grabs the microphone and he called Cody a coward. MJF claims that Cody is afraid to face him. MJF says Cody has the count of 10 to come out and face him. Cody doesn't come out. MJF calls him a little B. Then Diamond Dallas Page comes out to confront MJF. DDP is talking while MJF is looking at his phone. DDP said he wanted to address something that happened a few weeks ago with MJF and Wardlow. DDP says the fans have been wondering if he'll come back for one more match. MJF interrupts and he insults DDT. Then the Butcher and the Blade are brought out by MJF to take care of DDP. MJF says DDP can either kiss the ring and leave AEW or he can get beaten up by the Butcher, the Blade, while MJF gets frisky with his daughters. DDP nails the Butcher and the Blade with diamond cutters, then the Bunny distracts DDP so MJF can kick him in the balls. Wardlow and MJF attack DDP until Dustin Rhodes and some of the AE officials come out to help. Alright, so we have a match between the Jurassic Express, which is Luchasaurus, Marco Stunt, and Jungle Boy, versus Orange Cassidy and Best Friends, Chuck Taylor and Trent. Now the match begins with Taylor working over the arm of Jungle Boy. Boy gets free and Taylor drops him with an arm drag. Boy responds by nailing Taylor with the springboard arm drag followed by a drop kick. Stunt and Trent are tagged into the match. Trent easily shoves Stunt into the ground after some locks-ups. Stunt gets Trent in a lockup and Trent sets free. Stunt creates space before nailing Trent with the middle rope Rana. After the middle rope Rana, Trent recovers and he quickly drops Stunt. Stunt mocks Trent before attacking him with chops. Boy tags in and he double teams Trent with Stunt for a near fall. Everybody from both teams get in the ring and we go to commercial break. We return from break to see Taylor nail Boy with a Falcon Arrow for a near fall. Jungle Boy fights back and he drops Taylor with a clothesline. Luchasaurus and Trent are tagged in by their respective partners. Luchasaurus quickly starts cleaning house against the opposing team. Luchasaurus drops Trent with the tail whip. Cassidy is tagged in and he attacks Luchasaurus with his striking combination. Luchasaurus fights back and Cassidy nails him with the Stun Dog Millionaire. Jungle Boy tags in and Cassidy nails him with the drop kick. Cassidy also takes Luchasaurus out with a suicide dive. Then Boy returns and he attacks the members of the opposing team. Taylor propels Jungle Boy into the air so Trent can land a spear. Cassidy then hits Jungle Boy with the top rope splash for a near fall. Taylor tags in and Stunt nails him with a flatliner. Stunt then hits Trent with a destroyer. Luchasaurus picks up Stunt to throw him onto Trent and Cassidy. Jungle Boy shocks Taylor with a roll up for a 3 count. And there you have it. Jungle Express goes over on Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends. Alright, so we have the final segment of Dynamite, which was Will Jon Moxley answer Chris Jericho and join the Inner Circle. So we got the AEW World Heavyweight Champion Chris Jericho, aka Le Champion, makes his way to the ring with Sammy Guevara and Jake Hager. Now Jon Moxley makes his way to the ring as Jericho gives him a proper introduction. Jericho says that January 8th is the night that Moxley will give his answer, And Moxley says he has a lot to think about this week, and a lot of thought went into his decision. Moxley says Jericho doesn't know about his goals and motivation. Moxley says he doesn't want what Jericho was offering because he can't be brought. Moxley said he came to AEW to run roughshod over professional wrestling, and he tells Jericho yes. Moxley says he came to dominate, and the inner circle is who he wants to stand with. Moxley believes in his heart that Jericho is the greatest of all time. The inner circle grabs some of the bubbly and they all start drinking it. Jericho hands the keys to the new car over to Moxley. Jericho talks about the success of the inner circle in New Japan and in AEW. Moxley ends the celebration to say he just was kidding and that he isn't joining the inner circle. Moxley says he wants the AEW World Heavyweight title before laying Jericho out Guevara with the paradigm shift. And there you have it. That was AEW Dynamite from last Wednesday, January the 8th. Alright, so final segment of the show. Just going to do a quick recap. Not going to go into each individual match with Wrestle Kingdom because everybody who pretty much has watched it by now. But I'm just doing my recap and my thoughts on it. Okay. Now for day one, you had Yoshihashi, Toriano, Tomohiro Ishii, and Hiroki Goto defeat the Bullet Clubs, Chase Owens, Yuriko Takahashi, Bad Luck Fale, and Kenta. Alright, so you had for the IWGP World Tag Team Championships, you had David Finlay and Juice Robinson, FinJuice, defeat the Guerrillas of Destiny to win the IWGP Tag Team Championship. In the IWGP United States Championship match, you had Jon Moxley defeat Lance Archer to win back his IWGP US Championship. For the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, you had Hiromu Tanahashi defeat Will Ospreay to win the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. In the Intercontinental Championship match, you had Tetsuya Naito defeat Jay White to become the brand new Intercontinental Champion. And then in the main event, night one, for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, you had Kazuchika Okada defeat Kota Ibushi and retain his title. That was night one. Alright, so we are into night two. Now, we had for the pre-show, we had the Never Openweight 6-man tag gauntlet match where we had Bushi, well basically LIJ, Bushi, Shingo Takagi, and Evil win the Never Openweight 6-man tag team championship. And in Jushin Thunder Liger's retiring match, you had Ryo Lee and Hiromu Tanahashi defeat Jushin Thunder Liger and Nakio Sano. Alright, for the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships, you had Sho and Yo, Roppongi 3K, defeat the Bullet Clubs, the Bone Soldier, Taiji Ishimori, and El Phantasmo. Alright, in the Rev Pro British Heavyweight Championship match, you had Zack Sabre Jr. going over on Sonata. Alright, and you had the IWGP United States Championship match. You had Jon Moxley retaining over Juice Robinson. Alright, for the Never Openweight Championship, you had Hiroki Goto defeat Kenta to win the Never Openweight Championship. Alright, then you had Jay White defeating Kota Ibushi. In the Special Challenge match, you had Chris Jericho defeat Hiroshi Tanahashi. Now, for the main event, title versus title, who became the double champ? That's right, Tetsuya Naito wins, not only retaining his Intercontinental Championship, he also won the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, which makes him now the double champion. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. that was Wrestle Kingdom 14. Alright, I'll just say this. It's glad to be back for the 2020. I just want to do a quick moment of silence and a rest in peace shout out for my pop, Odell Wimber Sr. I'm broadcasting in the new Pops Memorial Studio. Everybody who know me, they know how much I love my dad and how much he is a great influence on me and me doing what I'm doing now with the podcasting. So we're just going to do a quick 10-bell salute moment of silence for my dad, Odell Wimber Sr. Alright guys, we came to the end of the show. I want to give my quick shout outs. Want to shout out the whole squad. One Struggle family, of course, the CEO, DJ Hardcore Productions, the VP Noge G, my bro. I want to shout out Reno Bryce, Flames, the Vet, KJ, rest of the squad. Y'all already know who y'all are. I want to shout out, of course, Fightful.com, where I got the results and all the great news. Make sure y'all subscribe to FightfulSelect.com. I'm a faithful member on the Patreon. So shouting out my boy SRS and Jimmy Van Zandt and the rest of the squad. Also shouting out Russell Cave. Don't forget to go on all your music platforms. Support my guy, Geechee the Don. His project is out. Heavy is the Crown. Make sure y'all go support that. Support Russell Cade, the Trap Podcast. Also, my man Casey, 30 Case, word up. Yasmin, Mike B. Jones, MC Quick, the whole squad with Russell Cade, Marked Out Club. Shout out my man Sid Puller the Third and the True Hills Camp. And like I said, I'm just glad to be back for the 2020. Don't forget, you can get this on Castbox, box.fm.com. Also, we on Spreaker, One Struggle Radio. Don't forget, I may have this episode up on SoundCloud, or I may just wait when I do episode 14. Also, check us out on YouTube. All right, peoples, that's it. Kept it under an hour the best I could. Reviewed, what was that? NXT UK, Impact, AEW, and Wrestle Kingdom. Got a pretty good show coming back for the 2020. A little rusty, but y'all know what it is. Alright, so I will keep y'all posted on the new schedule, because like I said, I'm integrating some new promotions, especially that NWA Power and Impact. They part of the family now, so I'll definitely be reviewing that. So just stay tuned. Episode 14, I'll probably be recording it between Saturday and Sunday. It'll be up by Sunday. So everybody enjoy the rest of their week, and thank you for the support. Once again, this is J.Raw, the president of One Struggle Radio. Once again, this is the J.Raw Weekly Wrestling Podcast, episode 13 for January 14th, 2020. Peace.